So Jewel became a slave. Sometimes in Kenshi, your characters will get caught, especially when they get injured. And the greatest thing about Kenshi is there's definitely almost a justice or karma system for that slaver that took Jewel when she was injured, ended up getting injured by a skimmer, I think is what they're called. And now I can go back and save her. Sometimes things just work out. In a harsh world like Kenshi, I think, especially playing as this robot, they don't have too many emotions or judgment. And because Kenshi's dominated by humans and corrupt humans, I think that playing as a skeleton is the best way to show some justice, some rational thought, because it seems like not too much rational thought goes on in Kenshi. And as you can see, the skeleton's trying to save this partner, this slave, from going and working forever. And it's a pretty epic story. Jewel definitely does end up being safe. And of course, in the beginning of the game, I didn't have any bases or not much cats or money, and my character's skills were very low. Um, but the best thing is how you can heal others. You can help them feel better. You can save lives in this game. I think it's a great thing to show for what medical people have to do, and nurses and doctors who heal people, who perform surgeries. This game does exactly just that. So even though you're stuck in a world that's relentless and harsh, the nature of it is just disgusting. You can still do good things in this game, and that'll probably be the basis of the video for the most part. But as you can see, Jewel's healing, and Jewel became a permanent part of my character's journey. This right here is how the slaver is treating Jewel, having her crawl without caring or giving her medical attention. Sometimes foreshadowing is a great way to show what's to come as a result of the harsh treatment. Corrupt guards are definitely a thing in the world of Kenshi. It doesn't matter what nation you're in. United Cities tends to have slaves as a way of profit, and the truth shows through trying to set one free that it's an illegal crime. They actually call it an act of terrorism, which would be such a crazy thing. Yeah, right there. So I had to resave that one. It's a really interesting concept of like a robot having depression. Makes you wonder how they could even comprehend what it's like to, I guess, think sad words, which could help them understand the feeling of depression. But in the world of Kenshi, with all that the skeleton's probably been through, they could probably get a grasp of what depression could be like, as the skeleton admitted here. Of course, the skeleton's getting bullied. Yeah, Skelly, its eyes are as empty as voids. Like it. That's probably all the skeleton's heard his whole life. Yeah, he's right behind you. He's about to crossbow your ass. But yeah, you know, I feel like in the future on Earth, it'll be the exact same way, where we'll get humanoid robots who can eventually do things on their own with whatever technology, and they'll start to get harassed all the time by real humans, kind of like Detroit Become Human. But I think they'll always be fairly peaceful. And when it comes to slavery, the game has books that practically mention the benefits of slavery. So basically, they're saying those people are buying things and using, helping the economy with things that they have slaves do. They're basically saying that they'd be nothing without slavery. So that's kind of like how the United Cities felt. Um, it's really interesting, though, as you read this, how they feel about it. And the world of Kenshi almost seems primitive and a definite dystopia to how life really can be. And just to show it, when I allied with the United Cities because I kept turning in criminals, it's strange that they helped me fight against slave hunters, which are extremely aggressive groups of people who hunt for weak to turn them into slaves. And then the slave caravan traders run up, as you see, and they're pretty much getting ready to have them be slaves. So I think, okay, if the United States helps me attack the slave hunters, will they help me attack the slave caravan traders? And as you see here, they don't. And I find that interesting because it probably doesn't mess with their economy, right? Slave hunters don't help the economy, but slave caravan traders do. So the craziest part about how the police system works in Kenshi, particularly United Cities, is when you arrest any kind of criminal, starving vagrant, bandits, any of them, and you get them put in jail for a bounty. I was making money off of putting them in jail, and then the slavers show up and they make their money by taking them to the slave camps. And their economy is they'll sell the slaves around, they'll have them work to death. As you see, they just beat them. They don't really care who they are. Just kind of like real life, they don't have rights or they don't have human rights or anything. But this is the cycle of slavery. As you see, they're hauling them off, but they're attacking this one because apparently he was trying to escape, or was he? Although you'd think there'd be a giant disconnection between humans and nature, you'd think it's just human nature to act in such ways, but it seems nature doesn't care what's going on, what people are struggling with. Nature will do what nature does, what it's programmed or destined to do. There's rules to nature itself. It can make you feel like the smallest, most unworthy thing, but in reality, it's what you do the most that makes you feel like you're as big as the universe. Because time and nature will continue to do what it has to do based on its own laws, and what people do is what tells your story the best. It can almost feel like it's rigged at times with how tiny you feel and how almost unsure you can feel about everything. And how unsure I'm sure even some of the smartest feel because no matter what, this doctor, nature didn't care who he was. And nature don't care about who this peasant is. As crazy as he goes, I can understand. I could feel that even for any kind of class of people. Here, bro, let me take your watch. I got you. Like, we all have stuff to do. And I think the best part of how selfish the world can be is to do something that's unselfish, such as this injured slave that I saved and had her leg torn off during a battle. I think the best thing to do in a game like this, since it doesn't really have an end, is to do something kind, such as putting a prosthetic leg on this poor slave, giving them some health and food, and letting them be on their way. That to me is probably the best part of this game.